Of all the auto brands on the road today, only one has been named the best auto brand for 6 straight years. That brand is Mazda. Come shop and save on the award-winning lineup of new Mazdas right now at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on Airline.
Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Bug Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people. You can know the right people too.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hello and welcome to today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. Here's hoping that all is well with you and yours. Since the last opportunity we had to spend some time with you, roughly 24 hours or so ago. We are so excited that after the soft opening, it's full bore now at Bayou Smokehouse. Joining us to let everybody know where to get some of the most fabulous barbecue in all of Baton Rouge is our dear friend, Katie True. Katie, how are you today?
Great, how are you?
I am doing well, thank you for asking. So how excited is the staff to finally open up and be ready to serve Baton Rouge?
Very excited. So at the last location, it was literally just to go or pick up, and now we have full dining and a whole bar area.
Wow.
Lots of space outside.
So is the staff feeling any pressure? I mean, you are, after all, in Louisiana, and people here know good food and we know good barbecue.
Absolutely not. No, everything is slow cooked, 14 hours, the right way. We're definitely prepared.
What can folks expect from an experience standpoint? What are you hoping they get, aside from the great barbecue, when they come to visit you at Bayou Smokehouse?
They just get a homey feeling, great service, very good drinks.
I wonder why you emphasized that part, because you have a little something to do with that?
Absolutely, yes. I'm on the bar side.
So let's talk about the menu. It's one thing to tell people we've got great barbecue here, we've got all the standards. What exactly is on the menu?
Okay, so everything is homemade. Even
Now, when you say homemade, we're talking made from scratch.
From scratch, yes.
Awesome.
Everything is homemade, made from scratch. We have really good sides, collard greens, coleslaw, black beans, jambalaya, macaroni and cheese. We have brisket, which is lean or marbled, pulled pork, sausage. We have chicken wings, and then we also have white meat and dark meat chicken.
Now, I am assuming that because it is a barbecue restaurant, you all are smoking in Bayou Smokehouse every single day?
Yes, and we use pecan wood.
Oh, really?
That's local.
And it's all local?
Yes.
Awesome. So what are you thinking at this point will separate Bayou Smokehouse from other barbecue places?
I mean,
in
the
and
taste,
around?
clearly. As soon as somebody comes in and tries it, that's going to set us apart from everybody else.
Uh-huh.
Even our sauces are homemade. There's 3 different sauces. We have Georgia, Carolina, and Louisiana. The
Uh-huh.
Georgias are sweet. The Carolina is vinegar-based, and then Louisiana spicy.
I noticed in talking with the staff as you all were getting ready to open, everybody's excited. Everybody is putting the best foot forward. But it seems like in just this small amount of time, you all have assembled a family here to serve Baton Rouge.
Absolutely. We have definitely became a family, and we want you to feel like family too.
So when can folks come by and get some of this fabulous barbecue?
Tuesday through Sunday
Uh-huh.
will be open.
So we're talking closed on Monday.
Mondays, yes.
But other than that, you're talking a full 6-day run during the course of the week.
Except for Sundays, we're going to be closing around 3. It'll just be lunch on Sundays, but yes.
And of course, we are talking a family-friendly atmosphere.
Absolutely.
So what about the guys and the girls, for that matter, out there that are saying, you know what, I could sure use some good barbecue, but there's something coming on TV, a game or whatever, that I don't want to miss. Have you all got that covered at Bayou Smokehouse?
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's about 15 TVs in here. We could definitely find what you want to see.
Now, let's, for the record, set this straight. It is in-person dining. This is not just to go.
Absolutely, yes.
Fantastic.
Huge seating area, and we have tables also in the bar and a bar area.
And again, what are the days that you're open? Every day except Monday?
Right. Tuesday through Sunday. Sunday's just lunch. We close at 3.
Okay. I know that there are barbecue and smoked meat connoisseurs all across the South Louisiana viewing area. And with COVID-19 and the lockdowns having been what they've been, everybody's just itching at the bit to get out and try someplace new. Now, for the record, you can get barbecue just about anywhere. But is it real barbecue? I'm not talking about that you slap some liquid smoke on it and throw it in the oven. I'm talking about when you pull up in the parking lot, you see the pecan wood stacked about so high inside and outside the building. And oh my God, it's a good thing you answered the way you did, because in South Louisiana, number one, food has to be as appealing to the eye as it is to the palate. But maybe more important than all of that, you got to know what you're doing when you're talking about making your sides from scratch. None of that open up the big institutional size can, dump it out, heat it up, and serve it to somebody. We're talking everyday, made fresh from scratch. Anything else you want the folks to know that we haven't covered, Katie?
That's about it. The taste is going to prove it.
The taste is going to prove it. I like it. I like it. Is that an official saying?
Officially, yes.
Officially. Unofficially, officially. Yes. It is formally, for those of you that may be wondering, it is not a new physically built building. It's formally Scoreboards, 10655 Coursey Boulevard. And by the way, we shoot the show here Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. The Exiles shoot their show here as well. So if you get the opportunity, come on by, grab some fabulous barbecue, and who knows, maybe you will get to talk a little politics with old peanut head fella up on the stage at some point during the course of the day. Katie True, Bayou Smokehouse, old school barbecue. Come by and get yourself some. We're going to break early for the first break of today's show. We'll get that done, and we'll come back with more of today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, here and only here on the Pelican. Stay close. Thank you, ma'am.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with the Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network
and Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
Team Honda wants to thank you for once again making us Louisiana's #1 new car dealer by offering you never-before-seen savings. For the first time ever, get 0% financing up to 60 months on some of your favorite Honda models. Get thousands in savings right now at Team Honda on Segan Lane.
Balello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Balello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Mandafine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Mandafine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Mandafine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. By the way, something that we neglected to touch on in the last segment with Katie True of Bayou Smokehouse. Live entertainment will be on the menu in the future, so you will be able to come in, get some old school barbecue, spend some time with some absolutely wonderful people, and on top of that, you'll be able to take in some live musical entertainment as well. 10655 Coursey Boulevard. It is someplace that you need to put on your list of things to do. A couple of things here in the capital city. First and foremost, if you've not heard by now, the recent arrests of 2 officers in the narcotics division of the Baton Rouge Police Department has led to what some figured was going to be a bit of turmoil. District Attorney Hilla Moore, encouraged by a number of organizations to look into drug charges that had been lodged against citizens in the wake of the arrest of former officers Jeremiah Ardoin and Jason Acree. Both were charged after an internal investigation led to evidence of corruption. As of yesterday, D.A. Moore has dismissed drug charges against 640 individuals. Exactly how high that number will end up going, only time will tell. I have known Hilla Moore for many years now, and I trust in the fact that he is about doing the right thing for the city and its citizenry. And I can only imagine the number of individuals that are going to want to have their charges either dismissed or another look at the charges levied against them. It is something that is necessary, for lack of a better word. When you are talking about the trust of the city in those who serve them from a law enforcement standpoint, it's paramount. There is no reasoning whatsoever why this should not be turned inside out. Now, that being said, for those who may be looking to take advantage of the bad decisions made by two officers and use that in an attempt to paint law enforcement with a very broad and ugly brush, I ask you to consider this. In today's political climate, I understand it is the cool, the hip thing to do. Everybody, well, not everybody, I shouldn't say that, lots of people would probably be more appropriate, but lots of people are looking for reasons to demonize law enforcement. At the end of the day, all of this came to light because other officers noticed what was going on and brought it to the attention of the police department, which led to these two officers being fired. So I implore you, resist the urge to attempt to paint all of law enforcement with that broad, ugly brush. Because again, at the end of the day, and particularly for those of you that love to harp on the long, worn-out line that, well, you know, Clarence, it's the thin blue line, and they protect each other, and no cop is ever going to tell on another cop. Well, I beg to differ, because in this particular instance, the only reason that we found out about this is because the good men and women in law enforcement did not want their names besmirched. The good men and women in law enforcement take seriously the oath they swore to protect and serve. And if in fact it meant turning in one of their own, well, so be it. I can only imagine what was going through the heads of these officers as they were going in to report a fellow officer. A lot of people may not have had the intestinal fortitude to do that. A lot of people may have found every reason in the world not to do that. But these brave men and women, much like a whole lot of other folks would not do, took seriously the oath they swore to protect and serve. And law enforcement, guys and girls, is no different from any other occupation. You want, in whatever your chosen field of endeavor happens to be, you want it to be cast in the best light possible. And you take it as a personal affront when someone besmirches your chosen occupation. And again, it's one thing to say that, it's something else to feel that way, but it's something else entirely to step up to the plate, answer the call by turning in someone who has made some seriously bad decisions and is casting all of law enforcement in a negative light. I don't expect that Chief Murphy Paul will leave any stones unturned. And obviously, the BRPD works in close conjunction with the East Baton Rouge Parish DA's office. So full transparency is what I expect to see in this. As a matter of fact, DA Hillamore said in the week after the arrest initially of these two officers that it may well be months and months before we find out just exactly how deep this goes and how many cases it affects. Tip of the hat to the DA for stepping up to the plate, moving quickly, and offering full transparency in all of this. We see so many times with government agencies where we're told one thing only to find out later on it is something else entirely. So we obviously are going to keep an eye on this. Again, the latest numbers, 640 cases have been thrown out. And, you know, as an old fellow, you learn to trust your gut sometimes. And after looking at all that is encompassed in this, my gut tells me that number of 640 is probably going to be higher when all is said and done. Just an observation. Speaking of the capital region, something that is for a Baton Rouge boy an eyesore beyond belief. Finally, we are seeing some headway being made on the revitalization of LSU's University Lakes. For me as a Baton Rougean, it's painful enough to drive across the interstate and, depending on the direction of travel, look left or look right, and University Lakes looks like something out of, I don't know, Swamp Creature Mysteries or something. It is, quite frankly, it's embarrassing. And part of the human experience is such that when we encounter new things, typically we remember the first thing we see and the last thing we see. And just imagine folks traveling down I-10, heading east, come across the Horace Wilkinson /new/I-10 bridge, and the very first thing you see are these lakes that lead you to wonder if Baton Rouge has a sewage treatment plant with open pits on either side of the interstate. It's gotten just that bad. And it's a sad commentary that is one of the first things you see when you come across the I-10 bridge into the capital city. It's bad enough we're the capital city. It's bad enough it's on the campus of our state's flagship university. But you know, now that I think about it, if you go not too far down the road to the lakes around the Capitol, not a whole lot better there. I don't know about you and yours, but I think we deserve better. And it's a sad commentary that, number one, this has allowed to go on this long. It's been allowed to go on this long. But it's even sadder still when you take into account that we didn't step up and demand better. What's the old saying that your buddy Clarence tells you all the time? If the people lead, the leaders will follow. Bottom of the hour break is coming up in just a matter of seconds. It is Judgment Day, sentencing day, if you will, for an individual that a lot of us had really high hopes for. Nathan Hamer, former band director for the Human Jukebox, yours truly a proud alum. And before you ask, it has not diminished my faith and love for the band one iota. But when in our society you get caught doing certain things, well, you got to answer for that. We'll talk about that and a whole lot more after we get our bottom of the hour break done, and we'll continue right here on the Clarence Bugg Show. Stay close.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Jaguar Nation, we need your help in masking up Louisiana.
Masks help us slow the spread of COVID-19.
During this time, we must continue to wear a mask. Wash your hands and practice social distancing.
It's important that we continue to abide by the CDC's guidelines to stop the spread.
Jaguar Nation, we challenge you to mask up.
Go Jags!
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Caught spiders. Premier Pest Services.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bud Show. Marty, help me out. Mighty Casey has struck out. There is no joy in Mudville. What was that from? The poem. We learned it back in elementary school as kids. No, it wasn't Babe Ruth. It's a fictional, if I remember correct, account of this great baseball player had taken his team all the way through to the championship, and he comes to the plate with the winning run there, and everybody just knew, oh, Mighty Casey's going to take this thing out of the park, and instead he strikes out. My crack research team right now is Googling for me just offset. The reason I say that is because it is a sad day in Jaguar land. Arguably the most visible representation of Southern University is the internationally acclaimed Human Jukebox. You are talking an organization that has taken part in more presidential inauguration parades than any other band in history. Probably more Super Bowl, Sugar Bowl, Mardi Gras appearances than any other. And as time normally teaches us, no one is immune from bad deeds. The former band director for the Human Jukebox, Nathan Hamer, pled guilty to embezzlement charges in federal court, admitting to submitting at least 15 fraudulent invoices to Southern University for band expenses and then keeping the money for his own personal use. It is, according to prosecutors, a scheme that transpired over the course of 2 years, 2016 until 2018. And Hamer was eventually charged with federal program theft for embezzling a total of $30,000. It is to be noted, this is not the first time that Nathan Hamer's name has been involved with misappropriation of funds regarding a band. Allegedly, the former band director worked at a high school band where over $40,000 went missing. He is scheduled to be sentenced today, again, after pleading guilty. He faces up to 10 years in prison and a fine of $250,000 on the federal charge. I am not going to even attempt a guess as far as what the punishment is going to entail. Certainly, restitution would be in order if it has not already been paid. Aside from that, I'm not privy to what the statute says on a federal charge of this nature and what a judge is allowed to take into consideration as far as that's all concerned. I guess the good news is we will not have to wait long to find out today. Didn't come up with anything? Oh, the mighty Marty has struck out. So much. Did you Google or DuckDuck? Which one? Yeah, okay. All right. Well, that's your problem. There you go. That's your problem. Must be racist. They don't want you to know about Mighty Casey has struck out. There's no joy in Mudville. I want to say that that's the name of that poem. It's like a story done in poetry. But I want to say there's no joy in Mudville. And my sincere hope is that whatever the sentence ends up being today for Nathan Hamer, that we will be able to put this behind us and the reputation of the Southern University Human Jukebox will remain intact. Lest we forget, none of us are immune. No organization, no institution, no entity is immune from things of this nature. And as my late father was fond of saying, the fact that an individual gets knocked down doesn't say nearly as much about them as when they get knocked down, they get back up. So we'll keep an eye on it today, and hopefully for all involved, this will bring some finality to all of this. Speaking of sports and things that intertwine there, I don't guess that this is a big surprise to many people. Maybe some of the demographic breakdown may be a little bit of a surprise, but in the wake of the social justice revolution in our country and how it particularly invaded professional, collegiate, and organized sports, most people knew that there's going to be some repercussions to this for forcing this agenda, this movement, and others' feelings down the throats of average American sports fans. Most of us knew. And, you know, a lot of people probably, in hearing their neighbors, their coworkers, their friends, and just regular folks say, I'm not watching the NBA anymore. A lot of them probably figured, yeah, right, okay, we'll see how long that lasts. A lot of people, and this is probably true for organized sports in general, most of them said to themselves, wait a minute, this is America. We are sports obsessed. What are they going to do? Stop watching? Well, funny you should ask that question. A new poll out from YouGov/Yahoo News. Now, when you hear a poll conducted by Yahoo News, you know automatically that it is a hard left-leaning poll. Granted, that's a given. No two ways about it. So when their results say, in no uncertain terms, sports fans, y'all was serious, then you listen. When a left-leaning organization like Yahoo Sports says, NFL, NBA, MLB, y'all might want to pull back on this whole social justice thing because people are turning you off. Of those who watch sports, according to this poll, 11% said they watch more sports now because of the political and social messaging. However, 34.5% say they're watching considerably less. 53% say, I'll watch pretty much about the same, doesn't really bother me one way or the other. But what really stands out when you analyze this poll are the numbers contrasting the opinions of males and females, and of course, Democrats and Republicans. Men were a lot more likely to turn off sports as a result of the social justice messaging. 37.6% of men said that they have tuned in less, as opposed to 28% of females who also are tuned in less. 13% of men said, well, actually now I watch sports more because of that. So you may be tempted to say, woohoo, 13% more viewership. Well, actually you're 24.6% in the hole because 37% said, I'm not watching it anymore. The breakdown from political parties, probably what you would expect. 13.7% of Democrats said they watched more sports because of the social justice movement. 19% watched less. Now, that is a seriously telling statistic. The entire social justice movement is one started by Democrats, liberals, progressives, if you will. It is most well received by Democrats, liberals, progressives, and only 13.7% say they watch more sports because of the social justice movement. Meanwhile, 19% said they watched less. It is a telling statistic. And if organized sports, particularly on the professional level, can read between the lines, actually, you don't have to read between the lines on this one. It's there in big, bold print. We as Americans come to you to get away from all of the stuff that you're trying to cram down our throats. And the sooner you come to that realization, the better off you're going to be. I and many others predicted early on that if they're not very careful, they're going to kill the goose that laid the golden egg. And for my money, these folks got some really, really bad advice. They could have very easily achieved what they wanted to achieve had they not decided to insult half of their audience in doing so. You know, you can tell how old you are if you can finish this phrase. The customer is always fill in the blank. If you can answer that, then you're probably old school, or you had some really good parents, maybe, that were actually in business. The customer is always right. And it's a pretty safe bet. I could be going out on a limb here, but when you insult half of your customers, a whole lot of them are not coming back. And they certainly are not going to use your products. Just saying. Just saying. Whether or not they read between the lines and govern themselves accordingly, only time will tell. Personally, I wouldn't bet on it. Just saying. Final break of today's show. We'll get her done, come back, put that big old pretty bow on this puppy, and we wrap up today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, here and only here on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Mandafine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Mandafine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Mandafine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
We're making 2021 the year of savings, and it starts right now at Team Toyota. Come get a new 21 Corolla for just $189 a month, or get a 20 Camry for just $19,995. It's a year full of savings starting right now, right here at Team Toyota.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Welcome back to the final segment of today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show. You know, here in Louisiana, politics is often described as a contact sport. It is rough and tumble. It is all-encompassing. And on any given day, God only knows what you might see. Well, for us conservatives, there are things that we view as a contact sport, and many of us absolutely love watching. One is watching liberals cancel one another, for lack of a better phrase. Watching them push the whole cancel culture until one of them gets caught up in the cancel culture, and now they are literally cannibalizing themselves over something that, in the grand scheme of things, really doesn't make a whole lot of sense to begin with. The other thing is watching mega companies that, in an effort to curry favor with voters, particularly a certain demographic group, Asians, Latinos, African Americans, whomever, watching them, after attempting to curry favor, run for cover when it blows up. Don't know if you've heard about this controversy from the rapper Lil Nas X. What is going on in this young man's mind, only God knows. And God may be scratching his head at this point. He now, after releasing his Satan shoes, finds himself in trouble with Nike. By the way, if you're not familiar with this young rapper came out with the shoe that has a pentagram, Satan symbol, prominently displayed on the top. In the sole of the shoe is one drop of human blood. It is a limited release, only 666 pairs produced, 666, and the price tag is $1,018. Now, I don't know what's more ludicrous to me. The fact that someone, anyone, and I get it, it's America. What you do with your disposable income is your business. Y'all grown, you do what you want with your money, you worked for it, it is yours to spend. But spending $1,018 on any pair of tennis shoes to begin with is one thing. But in this case, to glorify Satan, if ever you wonder, and Clarence, I've heard you say before, you know better than anybody, you fear for the soul of our country. Well, it is what it is. What is amazing to me, though, is this young man, with his viral worldwide acclaim from his earlier release, could have chosen to do any number of things. Instead, this is where he chose to focus his efforts. Now, again, it is America. If that is what he chooses to do, it's his right. At the same time, he also has to understand that in doing this, the blowback, the backlash, the condemnation, you brought that on yourself, young man. Of all the things you could have chosen to put your time, energy, and effort into, this is what you chose to do. It's a sad commentary. There we go. Thank you. There is a shot of the shoe itself and, of course, the rapper, Lil Nas X. Nike, in filing lawsuit, the lawsuit says, Nike files this lawsuit to maintain control of its brand, to protect its intellectual property, and to clear the confusion and dilution in the marketplace by setting the record straight. Nike has not and does not approve or authorize MSCHF. I'm assuming the acronym stands for Mischief. That's the company that designed the shoe for Lil Nas. Nike has not and does not approve or authorize their customized Satan shoes. According to words from the complaint. It didn't take long at all before Nike said, well, we might need to put a little bit of space between us and this young fella here. It's and you know, you would expect when questioned about this, the typical response from individuals is, well, it's not my job to raise your children. And they would be right. It is not. But let's be honest about this, y'all. In today's society, the gullibility of young people, the willingness to be exploited by others is through the roof. And it's just painful to watch this, because at the end of the day, there's so many other things that this young man could have focused on. But such is the world these days in which we live. Speaking of the world in which we live, another heart-wrenching story. This one comes out of New York. New York City. Marty said, get a rope. 2 teenage girls arrested recently and charged with armed carjacking and murder after a failed attempt to carjack someone. The 2 teenage girls, ages, wait for it, 13 and 15, face murder charges after a botched armed carjacking near National Park in Washington, D.C. The 2 girls, who at this point remain unnamed, obviously because they are juveniles, assaulted Muhammad Anwar with a taser while attempting to steal his car in the 1200th block of Van Street in Southeast D.C. That attack ended up resulting in a crash, which in turn led to the death of Anwar. I don't know what it's going to take for us as Americans to wake up and realize what is going on with our kids. And you already know the deal. More than likely, I'm not going to say exclusively, but more than likely, you're going to see on TV or on the internet, well, my child was a good child. You're going to hear, I can't believe so-and-so did that. You're going to hear, otherwise they're good people. Our children are speaking to us, y'all. You don't have to be the brightest bulb in the chandelier to notice how in recent memory, the ages of violent offenders in our society has gotten lower and lower and lower and lower. Of course, now that also corresponds, sadly, tragically, to the ages of children victimized and killed by others. Here in Louisiana, just last week, charges of murder lodged against an individual for killing a 16-month-old child. In that particular case, what to me is most egregious, I saw an interview just this morning where female individual being interviewed revealed this guy, charged with murdering the 16-year-old, had on more than one occasion told members of this child's family, y'all need to keep this kid away from here because I'm going to kill him. Now, with COVID-19, with all the mental mentally unstable individuals in our society. For someone to say something like that, and other individuals continue to have that child in this person's presence, says a lot about us. Lest we forget, these children didn't ask to come here. They didn't. They were brought here. And as a result, we, as parents, have a responsibility to them. You know, you've heard me say God knows how many times. My pastor is fond of saying, former pastor, he's now retired. He's fond of saying, you can tell a lot about a society, about how they treat their children and the elderly. And what we are subjecting our children to, they deserve a whole lot better. Unfortunately, speaking of gut feelings, my gut tells me we've not seen the end of this just yet. Don't forget, guys, girls, Bayou Smokehouse is now officially open, and they're at 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Come on by. It's formerly Scoreboards. We shoot the show here every day. I'm looking right now at about 2, 6, 8, about 10 folks here. So come on by. Make it a luncheon date, and hopefully you and yours will get to spend a little time together, chew the fat, not literally. I mean, it is a barbecue joint, but not literally. Come on by, meet some great people, eat some awesome barbecue, and have yourselves just a good old time. I would consider it a personal favor. Katie and the crew would do so as well. 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Real easy to find. They'll get you in and get you out. That being said, my time's up and I have got to go. But once again, this day, maybe more so than any other, I give it to you. You're right. America, we are nowhere near perfect. But for this old boy's money, it's the best there is. And God knows there's no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, you realize he loves you, and I hope you know that I do too. Either way, ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. We'll see you tomorrow. God bless.